I used to have the SL55. That was a supercharged V8, very low down, grunty, snarly American sort of engine. That one, the new 6.3, no supercharged, it revs like that, and it's more powerful than the old supercharged one.
Absolutely, it sounds like a fly mill almost.
And the great thing is M5s break down all the time.
And those don't.
Exactly.
The great thing about this great style car, Mercedes looked a bit boring, that looks fantastic. But look, you've talked about V8 engines here from the land that invented the V8 for America. An American car which finally proves they aren't only just good at going in straight lines. This is an American car that handles. It's the Corvette, the Z06, into which General Motors have planted their most powerful road car ever. A 505 horsepower, 7-litre V8. To make it handle it, lowered it in the chassis, moved it back. They've lowered the centre of gravity to help the handling as well. They've lightened the whole car. In fact, that engine sits on a magnesium subframe. The wings are all carbon fibre wings. And actually the paint on the front wings weighs more than the front wings themselves. So it's light, low centre of gravity, great manual gearbox, fantastic power delivery. This is a great car to drive.
Yeah, it is on a track. I couldn't believe that because I've always loathed Corvettes with a passion. But around a track, I found myself thinking, why would anybody spend twice as much on a 575 Ferrari? It's like, on a road, however, it rumbles, it's too wide, it's left-hand drive.
Your teeth are rattling loose.
All right, enough of that, because here is a car which I'm fairly confident is not good on a track. It's the new Land Rover Freelander, but the interesting thing is it is good pretty much everywhere else.
Very up on stilts.
Exactly. Well, you know the reason for that. Remember that the old car people said, oh, it's a bit soft, it's not really a Land Rover. This one, all new, it has a thing called the terrain response system, it has the hill descent system, pretty much everything you'd get in a full-size Range Rover, but in the Freelander. It's been tested very extensively all over the world. They took it to Brazil, they took it to Canada, they took it above the Arctic Circle to test it in the cold. They even tested it, for some reason that they didn't actually explain, in Bradford. In fact, pretty much the only place that car can't get is Richmond in Surrey. Why? Because they've said in Richmond that if you have a 4x4 and you park it outside your house, you have to pay something like £450.
I know, that's what I remember now. That's why the reason they've decided that if you live in Richmond, you've got a 4x4, you can come here for nothing.
Exactly.
And if you've got a Prius, it's £2 million.
But here at the stage now, we see this new Volvo C30, so new that this is the UK launch of it at Mph 6. The first time anyone's seen this car. It's the first time Volvo made a car this sort of Focus Astra size ever since they gave up on the awful C340 several years ago. And unlike other Volvos, it's also designed specifically for the younger driver, which is why it's got 18-inch alloys, a great-looking body kit. It's got engines that range from a 1.6 litre up to a 220 horsepower turbocharged engine, which is actually the same as in the Focus ST. Quite, it's not surprising, it's actually a Volvo engine in the first place. Cars prices range from 14 grand to 23 grand. A fun car from Volvo.
I like it when Volvo do this, because you know they go on years being very boring carrying antiques around, and all of a sudden they do something like the 480 Turbo or the T5, or no, what was the coupe they did?
262.
The 262.
Yeah. Oh, hey, now look, the new Mustang. Of course, ever since the 60s, the Mustang's only ever been a platform to which you bolted your power and performance mods. This is no different. In fact, in America, what Ford did is they took the Mustang to 3 tuning companies and said, we will sell your car with our warranty through the Ford dealer network. One of them was Roush, one of them was Celine, and then there's this one, the Shelby Mustang. They called it the GT500 because they say it's got 500 horsepower. It hasn't quite, it's got about 480.
Americans, that was exaggerated.
Exactly. 480 horsepower is still an enormous amount, bearing in mind they don't do anything to the chassis.
Nothing,
no, it's exactly the same as standard, so are the brakes. So as you arrive at a corner, there is that sense that maybe you're not going to make it round, but I have to say, it's kind of fun. I also think this is an extremely good-looking car. No, I knew you were going to go, no, you don't.
You see, I'm an absolute advocate of the European way. That's, you know, it's all very clever, it's a Mustang, but I suspect, I haven't driven that really powerful version, I suspect it's absolute rubbish. What you want, if you want a really good driving experience, is, well, you have to go European, ideally Italian. How about that? Now, I think this is one of the prettiest cars to come out for at least 5 years. It's the new Alfa Romeo Spider. It's a thing of beauty. You've already seen the Brera at the top of the show. This is essentially the same car, but with no roof, obviously, and if anything, I think it's made it look even better. Look at it, it's absolutely superb. And I know what your objection is going to be. You're going to say, oh, I've driven the Brera's one, you get 2.2 litres, there's not enough power. That, though, is the 3.2 litre V6, Jeremy, has 260 horsepower, does 0 to 60 in 7 seconds, and in a way, that's a shame, because it means you have less time to admire it. What a superb looking car.
I'm sort of with you on that, James. It is quite slow, but I've always said you can't be a true petrolhead until you've owned an Alpha.
You're right.
The pain and the passion. And I've had a GTV6.
Yep, I've had a 1643 litre Super.
Tiff, you had one?
Bollocks. If you want to be a true petrolhead, this is what you should be driving. Aston Martin V8. And this, I personally feel, is the most beautiful Aston ever made. I love the short overhangs, they've got cute rear end. I know Jeremy prefers the slightly longer, perhaps slightly more elegant DB9. I love this. It still looks a very aggressive car. It is actually shorter than a Porsche 911. Under that elegant bonnet, there's a 380 horsepower V8 which grunts its power and loads of torque. And also it's got a great manual gearbox, a nice chunky gear change. It's a real driving experience inside that car.
My favourite thing about the V8 is it has to be the loudest road car you can buy. It has to be. And it's great because my wife's got one. I can hear her coming from 3 miles away.
That's actually quite handy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because if it's 3 miles away with your wife, it gives you time to put your arm pamphlets away before she comes up the drive.
Get the old pair.
Hey, now the new Jaguar XK, the supercharged one, the XKR. And interestingly, I drove this back to back with the Aston the other day, and I thought, well, they're going to be the same. They're both from Ford, effectively. They're both two-door GT cars. They've both got basically the same engine. They're both styled by the same man. They are completely different. The Aston, as Tiff says, is very grippy. Pirelli tyres are amazing. Very sharp turn-in, very grunty. This is soft and comfortable and quiet, and the gearbox is incredible.
I have to admit, there's the smoothest automatic gear change I've ever driven any car.
But that's a bit of a giveaway. It's that noise it makes, because you think it's just going to be a big, soft, wallaby old Hector, but get to a corner, it's fantastic.
If it handles so well, I reckon even you could pass like that with your big airfield without going ploughing the fields.
You couldn't be more right. I mean, the joy of television is editing. I mean, when you see me thundering round the hammerhead the wrong way with the tail hanging out, what you're not seeing are the 456 previous attempts where I went off backwards in a cloud of my own tyre smoke. But with the Jag, you can sit there all day long playing tunes on the throttle, and that gave us a bit of an idea. You see, what was it, 2-3 years ago, I guess now, we ran an item on Top Gear where an Apache helicopter gunship came down to the track and tried to get missile lock on a Lotus Exige, okay? And apparently it was very popular, around 1 million hits or something on YouTube. So last year at Mph 5, we recreated that in the hall using 3D, okay? We actually brought a helicopter in, and we're going to do it again. You can hear it coming now, so pop your glasses on, because here's what's going to happen. There's the helicopter there, yeah, here it comes. Now, the Jag has got to evade that. He was shooting at it for 1 minute. But a Jag test driver on board, it's obviously bigger than the Lotus, but it has got a lot more power, 420 brake horsepower, in fact, with a supercharged engine. If you've got small children with you, put your fingers in their ears